Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida. We are located on the central west coast of Florida by Tampa Bay and in the Gulf of Mexico on the west side of the county. Take a minute to have a look at St. Petersburg in all its wonders, a piece of paradise to live in. If you are new to my channel, take a look around. You will find everything for one-stop shopping in the playlists. So here on my portfolio, SKF is having a little bit of a buy up. The numbers over here are 21,406. That's the last position I have in my portfolio for this. It's being bought up. We're on TradeView, and as long as this orangish line is above this green line, then that is a good indicator. And I'm following this along just below the buy mark. It's going to be a sell-off somewhere up here, so we're putting in a limit sell so that we're just keeping below what this marketplace is over here. We now can increase that. Make an evaluation when to put a sell in. 23.15. We just want a penny below it. Because it's taking a rush. And these, get out of there. These rushes can go anywhere. They can just fucking go anywhere. Earlier this morning, I got in very, very bleary on another stock. I took it out at 20% because I was half asleep. And it just shook me that it was up 20%. And it went up 50%. I mean, there'll be some indications when this green line starts to get close to that. This is still ballooning up. Volume is going up. This thing is ballooning up. So we chop and change between here and here. And just, okay. 3 good green bars, and we're getting close. You see over here, 1, 2, 3 good green bars. This is on 5 minutes. It's getting close to its peak. So I'm going to put something in there because that's already up 4% from the bottom. I'm not selling it. I'm just making sure I'm under the downside. So in case it just clicks down, I do get something. So we're on 22.4, and the bottom of the market here is, and it's starting to go kind of ballistic-ish. So let's get something in anyway. 22.5, 5, and we'll put this on at 22.5. So that's up 5%. 22.5, just below this, and it's ballooning up. Just make sure we've got something in there. So we've got an order in there now. Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's, I can't see my own order. Huh? What happened to my order? It should be marked. Oh, what a shit. So I don't have an open order in there. I've got to get one in there. So, I sold it? Did I sell it? Trading history. Oh, I sold it. Bloody great. I've actually sold it. I must make a note of that. Because we want to put it in for a buyback. Okay, it's sold at 20. 0.022523. I've got a little bit left over, filled. So we've sold that. And now we want to look at the downside. So that's the new number here. Just got to do some thinking here. Well, it's going higher, but you know, I'd rather have something than nothing, because you know, I'm not greedy. I'll take my 5%. If it happens to go up 50%, then that's just bad luck. But so look at this fiasco here. Another stop in the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, the wee hours of the morning. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and it's going up. And I think, well, you know, I'm going to take some out. I took it out. Well, you know, it was up 20%. And then it just goes, 50 fucking percent. So I've taken it out and I'm looking to get it back in again. And it's just a matter of, well, how much will it really go down? This wonderful guessing game of making money. Well, look at this for a guess. I took that out at 22.5 and it's now coming down off that peak. That's a good little bit of in-trading. You don't want to day trade. Day trading is buying a stock that you think is going to go up. When it goes up, selling it off. You want to be in a portfolio, watch the things spike up over the relative hold data set that you've got, estimate, there's a peak, sell it off under the market. You want it to be rising, put your limit in under the market. When it comes down, dink, and then you can just work out, I'm going to get back in 2% below it, 3% below it. You just got 3%. That's the way to do it, people. So the stock that I just sold off, which is LSK 2250, I've got there on the upside. I put it back in for a while, but then it kind of looked like it was going to shit, so I took it out. Fortunately, just before it dropped. So because the reason is that, okay, there's its upside. It tested its upside. And I thought, well, if it comes down a reasonable amount here, then, you know, it's good to get back in. But it didn't. It went and challenged the upside again, but it never made it. Now, that is a down signal. That is a down signal. Didn't beat it once, didn't beat it twice, and there's a lot of money in there to kind of get the shit out of Dodge on. So I'm thinking it's going to go down a good bit more, and then we'll get in. So its current down is, let's put the number in here, 222191, 222191, is it right? 222, no, just 22, not too many twos. 22191, is that right? 22191. So it's down 1.37 from when I actually sold it. So its last resistance, well, down here was 21995. So I put that in here. That's 2.24% down from when I sold it. If it breaks that, then it's going to have to regroup to attack this peak again. So it's broken through that resistance, 21949. So hey, that's good. It's a good marker for it going down. You know, once these things start to go down, there's a tendency for them to get dumped in a hurry because people think they're going to lose a ton of money. So it's just a matter of guessing how far it needs to go down before you decide to guarantee some buy-in. So I also have it set up on this website where this is where I make the decisions about whether it's a buy or a sell. It's on a 45-minute time frame, and if you go back to the last post, about how to buy, decisions about buying the stock, I kind of go through this. So there's a critical point coming down here. If this gets below that, then it's having a pretty good sell-off. So we'll just follow this along and see how it goes. So we can take this over to the 1 minute chart on the same thing. We see this is its sell-off. We see the green line, the shorter term moving average, and the longer term moving average. And you can make some generic decisions about this based on this, where it's going, because these things take time. This is on the minute, so it's showing you minute to minute movement. It's kind of getting a medium buy up right now, and if it doesn't cross that, then we can make some estimate of this white line happens to be another stock. I'm just keeping tabs on. So this website's very good because you've got a comparator here, and in the comparison you can put another symbol in here to follow. So if you've got one going up and the other one going up, you might want to follow them both together to see if there's a sell-off point. And also let's put some light on the scene. I can't see what the friggin' hell I'm looking at. And also the crisis is looking at this. So if you're trying to make decisions about what something's doing, like in a portfolio, you want to kind of find a peak like that. There's some certainty it's not going to go above, sell it off, and then find a place where it's coming down. So this is the kind of screen you might do that on. The sell volume is the mauve line, the buy volume is the blue line. They're heading towards some kind of an intersection right now. It's reached some kind of a bottom and getting a temporary buyback. But once again, it's got to cross these peaks, and we're trying to find out what the trend is. I'm out of the market, so you can't really be sure what's going on, but if it's on a downswing, i.e. these peaks don't get beaten out, then it's definitely going to go down. So I love saying so. This is live, Dave, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get liver than this. 2 stocks bought out. One is rising back up again. The white line is the one I sold out earlier at. This is not on here. Oh, it's above what I sold it out at now. I sold it at 2,400 and some 0.24 something. So that's out of the game plan. This one I sold out at 22,500. So that's 22, and it's bouncing back. So now I like to just juxtapose between this and the trading site, just to get another bird's eye view of what it's doing. They both tell you the same thing. Looking to see if it's attacking its upper level again. It's the same thing, different view. This does not broach this line here on numerous attempts. So it kind of barely equaled it there. It failed here. Did it fail to get above this line on its attempt here? That's a classic failure to rise. Failure to get a upper max, better upper max, so to speak. If this fails here, which it's showing signs of doing, then that's trepidation for the upside and goody for the downside. Sometimes you want the stock to go up, and sometimes you definitely want it to go down. And right now I want it to go down. So this is set up for, as I said earlier, for making buy-in decisions. It's well above these marks right now. But if we go locally, we can see what the local trend is. So if this orange line dips below the green and dips below the red, then that's looking to be very solid for a buy-off situation, or a sell-off situation. I've already sold it off. It's looking for a relatively solid sell-off situation. So you can do this local following to get some assessment of where it's going, and you need to kind of find a trend. These things all, whether you're in or out with these kind of stocks here, they're going to go up eventually. It's just a matter of see if you can nickel and dime some pennies out of them. I mean, I'm not going to presume that I'm a big entity in this world. I've just got into it. But there's nothing like watching somebody live, evaluating the situation in time, thinking about it, talking about it, making decisions that are going to be pinpointed to minutes. You know, if this thing does this, if this thing does that, do we just go back in? You see now, once again, it's done this, can't beat the former level. We've got a nice rising long-term line. Crossing that is always a good sign when it's going down. It's always a good sign. And the standard way of evaluating a stock's fall is if it cannot beat the former support level, or if it cannot beat the former resistance level. In this case, it's a resistance level because it's going up and breaking through the support level. So once again, it's kind of, this is on the minute, so we can see what's happening, and the sell-offs have kind of trended out, the buy-offs are trying back, and it's a picture that's evolving that has yet to tell a story. So back to my portfolio a minute. The white line is LUN. I sold it off preemptively and unfortunately at 0.024, which is up basically 20%. Well, it's kind of gone away from that now. It's going above here. You can see its numbers 20. It's above where I sold it off. Now, if this just trends on its merry way, no problems. I've gained 20% on a flipping stock. I keep calling it stock, on a coin. I just go find another coin somewhere. There's tons of coins down here that I can go look at, which are on watch duty, and see which one is worth getting into. But getting that gain, even if I miss the big gain, is nevertheless gain. Just go find another stock that's at the bottom that looks like a good buy-in, go put it in, everybody's a happy camper. If it comes down, I mean, not going to do anything right now. If it comes back down again, then, you know, these are long-range things. These as you may or may not be aware, these altcoins are long-range things. You don't jump in 1 second and jump out again. If you're following something like a major spike that's going up 20, 30, 40%, then yeah, take a position out and look to buy back in. But in the general picture, you've got to look at both the short term and the long term and make that judgment as to what you need to do about it. So we're back on Lisk again. I think it's a very good example to learn from in a live situation. You've got these idiots who are buying into a stock that is 17, where is it? It's now 9% up. It was a shitload up. No, it's 17% up. It's got classic signals of downtrending. You've got these idiots buying into it. Well, thank you, idiots. You're just going to make me some money. And it's doing this nice. Look at that. It didn't beat its former resistance level. It's come down, ding, ding, ding. Now here's its bottom support level. If it breaks through there, and there's your classic, look, there's a rising, well, it came up to here, and it dipped below that resistance level. Well, whether you call it resistance, support, depends which way you're going, of course. It broke through the support level. So there's its first support level, and this one came lower. It's doing the classic business of not being able to beat the upper resistance level, and it can go anywhere. You know, all of a sudden this thing can go wacko, because they do. You can't predict the future. But if the trend follows the pattern of this having a sell-off and coming below here, it's starting to show a classic trend of downside. And we can follow the green. Once the green crosses the red, once the green line, get it right, crosses the red line, then you are in a good go situation for having a regroup. So over to this trading site, I've just repositioned all of this lot here. I'll bring this down, because I can now have all of my stocks in here at once. And I had it loaded up with every stock such I could do some selections, and I got rid of that. So now one-stop shopping, I like that phrase, one-stop shopping. We need to be able to see the big number here. See where the big number is? I'll take it right out here. So you know, just flip up and down your chart. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just see where they are, where the action is taking place. If there is some action taking place, anything above 10%, you want to know about, you know. You can get alerts put, but it's too much problematic stuff. I can't move any of these lines, can I? Oh, I can move that a little bit. Neat. Now I've got 14 stocks. 2 of them I'm out of. They're all on here. And we can take a look at the big movers. And we're kind of dealing with these 2 right now, which are on this chart here. We're following this downside. We're following this guy, trying to get the bulls are trying to get their shit in there, but it's not working. And we're nicely seeing this we're dancing up and down. Had a big sell-off here. They try it again, they fail, and even the volume. It's another thing that's useful here. It shows you the volume. Look at the volume upside drop here. Volume upside drop. That's going down. And we're heading to a classic situation where your stock, the orange line, drops below the red line, and the red line drops below the green line. That is an absolute indicator of get out of here, at least on the 40-minute line. This is the tendency, this is an inclination of where it's going. But certainly when it comes over to this line, right now it's still in the abeyance of where it's going, because this is a very long trend. It's still moving on an upward swing. There's no guarantee that this is ever going to go down yet. We're looking for the local down where we might find a buy-in. So it's still going up. This is the big picture. You need to look at the big picture. So we're looking for a local downside and a rebuy-in. And this is a good indication that it may be, of course it may not, it may go up again. And there's a position that you can kind of follow. So if you are new to altcoins, I'm new to altcoins, but if you're new to altcoins and you are losing money, then you clearly have problems. I'm not losing money. I know what I'm doing. I've defined through some research and experience a basis position for how to buy into an altcoin. Go back to one of my former posts, you'll learn how I do that. I believe it's going to be successful. This is a live situation. I'm in money and doing my thing. As I learn from this, I've got a pretty high IQ, so I learn pretty fast. And so if you are new to this and you're not doing very well, then pay attention, because this is a gold mine. You can make a flipping fortune in it if you know what you're doing. Go back and look at my earlier posts if you haven't been there. Let's get out. What is this? Let's get out of here just temporarily. Come back. Come back. What? Oh, I'm going to dump this and just show you where we are. I think I've got them all loaded in here. Playlists. So, live tradings. No, they're not in the live tradings, are they? So here, these 3 here, where are we? So part 9, using what I'm just showing you, using your exchange and the trading view interactively. My altcoin portfolio, how to evaluate purchasing an altcoin. Can look at those, and bitcoins. I think I've put these all in. So watch this. 21. Defining an altcoin portfolio. How and where to buy altcoins. They're all connected together in the situation that I've studied, thought about, evolved, brought my platform in on. So go back and look at all of those and see what you can learn from them. So as I was saying, this setup here is wonderful for making decisions on. So we've got stock I bought out of, we're watching its characteristics, its resistance levels, lower, lower, lower. It tried to get above it again, it didn't succeed. Wonderful information. Well, lo and behold, this blue line is the purchase buy up. So volume dropping, actually volume peaking out here, it's peaking out of the peak up here, volume dropping. And look at this last attack, volume dropping. Classic signals that something's going down. It didn't best its last attempt because it didn't have the volume to break through it. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. It hasn't all right, now it's below the green, the short-term moving average, which I don't know what this is. I've got it set on a number 50. If you're using this chart, and I've mentioned this before, this indicators are here. You just find this indicator down here, DEMA. You don't have to understand what it is. D up here, idiot. D, long ways. Okay, double exponential moving average. So that one, and the other one is triple exponential moving average, which you can set to whatever you want. And if you haven't used this before, once again, you just come in here, inputs, and put the number in there. I fiddled around with this and moved this line around, this green line around, until he told me the information I wanted to tell me, and then I set it at that number. No particular reason other than it was what worked against the data that was on the screen. And I had the red line pretty close to it, and I thought, well, I really want to know when the market is turning on this, or the altcoin is turning, so I fiddled around with this and I set this on 500. So once again, you can do the same, set that, and that's what I'm kind of working with. Whether I'm advocating that you should do that is another matter, but that's what I'm working with, and you can do the same. And as I said down here, this is a volume index. Now, I don't know why the volume index isn't in here because I can't see it, but when I put that up there, it was volume index. Volume indicator. Maybe it's a different name, but I thought this was absolute. I'm not going to take it out because I can't get it back again. But it's a volume index, which shows you the relative amount of stock being bought. I keep calling stock coins being bought, relative amount of coins being sold. Very, very powerful information when you juxtapose this with a long range moving average to a short range moving average. On the 45 minutes for buy signals when you want to get into a stock and determine whether it's a buy in or not. You want this blue line. Here's a typical situation. This crossover here, the stock value is kind of dingling around, and now it's solidly gone above the green, and you might want to wait. But surely as ever God makes little apples, for want of the saying, your coin value has gone above the descending long range line, the up moving short range line, and the volume is going up. That is an absolute buy signal to get in, and this is long range, so it's going along quite merrily. You don't want to sell this off as a long range prospect. I'm selling this off as a short range, kind of get a penny here or there, because the situation indicates that it is so. If it makes a spike like this, if something makes a spike like this short term, you can sell it off and you just find a position to buy it back in. So this is what's happening now. We're kind of following along, seeing what's happening. It's doing its traditional, can't make the grade, boys. The bulls are trying to get up there, but they're going to lose, and it's going to go bazoink maybe. So that's what we're following, and that's what you're learning if you don't know how to do this. I'm making it up as I go along, but I'm not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. So just follow and see what happens and learn from it. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. If you click, you can click on these moving average lines and it'll pop the line up. So what are we seeing? We're seeing the green line approaching the red line, and our stock showing, our coin showing an inability to beat its former resistance level. and a falling volume of coins being purchased, this is setting itself up for a classic buyout, sell-off, so to speak. When we have this red line go above the green line, that's the long range moving average is moving above the green line, which is trending down, and your coin's trending down, then it's got to be a good indicator that there is going to be a significant sell-off. That's what I'm using the platform as a possibility. And if it happens, then after the event we can say, yay, I was right, did it. There's 2 points of excitement when you're trading whatever you're trading, like here, these coins. Watching the coin value go up, and you see it going. As far as I'm concerned, 10% up is a signal to watch. 20% up is a serious business as to whether you should sell off, and then within some time get out. And the next happy point is watching that coin value fall when you're in cash, sitting on the sidelines, watching it go down, as we're watching these go down. This one's been sold off. It was sold off at 24. Well, I'm calling them the big numbers. I can't be bothered with saying 0.0xxx. So it was sold off at 24. It's doing a nice downswing. And this other one was sold off at 22. What was the money? It was sold off at 22,500. That was up a good ways. And now look at this beautiful situation. The green line is about to cross the red line, the death cross, as it was for the potential for Bitcoin. So we have the death cross here. We have our coin value below the red line and below the green line. There you go. You keep going down the drain, boys. You keep going down the drain. Where was I looking at this on? On here. Okay. This is Binance, the trading platform. So these are 3-hour blocks. This is coming up to its 24-hour point. It's coming off its high. It's 14.7% up, coming off its high. There's a 99 and a 25-day moving average. Well, it's above the 25-day moving average all through the last 24, very happily so, and it's starting to turn. We can see critical signs that it's about to kind of go down here. That's short term. Long term, there's a nice rising 25-day moving average, and if this crosses that line, they may just decide, A, we need to take our profit, and this thing can go for a very nice run down, and that's what we're watching. Watch and learn, or listen and learn, whichever way. Here comes the sell-off. This is its former support level when it sold off from the upside, and it's doing a ka-chunk, ka-chunk, that's what I like to say. That was the last. We've got a big sell volume, no buying at all. Nobody's buying this. It's just going down the drain. We can come over to here and take a look at its resistance levels. Yeah, there is support down here. 22,017, there's some support here. 2,200. Let's go back and look on here. Where is 2,200? Will you get out of the way? Oh, it's just, there is support for it at just below 2,200. Well, that's, no, there's support for it just above 2,200. So that's its resistance level. So it's going to take time here. If it breaks through this support level, there's quite a lot of people wanted to get in here, but there's no volume really. Once it starts getting into big volume, it can smash through this lot. But that may or may not take place. So although our indicators are such that it's moving down, there is quite a considerable support for this here. Quite a considerable amount of support. The volume has dropped off, take a lot to punch through there. So I'm going to evaluate that it's a buy-in situation right now. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So I've put my buy in. It's right under the money. I will have taken a 2% profit to the downside, and that's the way I'm going to play it. It's going. 4 blocks have been sold off. Got a little bit left. And it's gone. I'm bought back in. Actually, I bought back in lower. Well, unless it went below me and took out some of the ones below me. So that's a live evaluation. You just got to have your gut instinct. Nothing can teach. I might be right, I might be wrong. It's up to your gut instinct as to what you feel is right. I can't say this is what to do. It's what my feeling is about this live in the situation, evaluating the whole perspective of things, looking at this, seeing that it's got some resistance here, and the resistance that within the stock. The big thing was that there's this big support resistance level here, and that's why I wanted to get in early, because I think there's a good chance it's not going to dip below that in a hurry, and then it'll regroup. So I sold off. I sold off at 22,500, bought back at 22,050, got 2% gain on that up-down purchase. Up sell, down buy. So I'm not changing anything on my portfolio here. I just know that as far as where is it? As far as this is concerned, I got 2% more than the gain in here because I just took it out, bought it back. Stuff happens, you know, stuff happens. I happened to buy more than I wanted to, so orders, open orders, trade history. So I bought more than I wanted to, so I had to work out how much to sell off. I sold the bit off I needed to sell off to get my bounce money around. Actually, it made 1%. So I mean, you can make mistakes here, can't you? Because I need to get back into the market on this other stock, LUN, which I'd previously sold out at. I'd sold out at 24,020, forgetting the zeros. So I'm trying to buy it back in 0.5% under that. So this is one of these difficult decisions. I decided to take the buy out for LUN that I had in there, because although the signals are okay-ish, it's not impossible for it to implode. I've already got the cash on hand. Go and look for another stock. No risk that way. So I'm going to look for another stock. Keep calling them stocks, but whatever. So what we do with that is to pick up one of the stocks I have on here. I'm going to look at some of the watches first and see how they're doing. So it doesn't really matter what stock, what coin you get. The first one on the list, which was on the watch list, looking at on Binance. So it's a not an absolute new stock. It's relatively new-ish. Had a buy up, had a sell off, but it's showing a buy up trend, which is always an interesting consideration. This is a nice pattern here. Sell off, buy up, sell off, hasn't breached the lower bounds, buy up, sell off, hasn't breached the lower bounds, buy up, sell off, hasn't breached the lower bounds. It's creating higher highs and higher lows, so this is a reasonably good stock coin to get into. Doesn't really matter which coin you're in as long as the conditions are okay. So I'm going to take a look at this on the other website, and we don't want to be on GDAX. Where is it? No. I'll come back when I've sorted this mess out. So here's another stock. And whoa, this has been just dumped the shit out of. Well, that's interesting. We'll take a look at it. See what's going on for you. One day. Flatlining out. That might be a prospectively interesting stock. It's just dumped a fucking shitload, 57% down the drain. So, where are we going here? I am losing my mind. Okay. Losing my mind. This is the big dump on here, down 56%. I don't... Get out of what? I've got two of these open. Somewhere over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, it tells you how many coins it's got. Yeah, well, it doesn't tell you on here. Don't know where it is on here, so I can't find it. Let's go back again. Oh, please. Will you get it right? I'm gonna have a cow. I'm already having a cow because I haven't got my wire transferred through. This is the end of the 5th day. No wire transfer. Holy crap-a-rooski. It's on Binance. Volume 7 million. But the trouble is it doesn't tell you what the value is. Volume. Coins. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. It's got 68 million coins. And it's got a market cap of 6.9 million. So let's go and look for it on the outside here. Are you going to operate today or be a pain in the ass? $6.9 million. We want to go down to the bottom of hell. Hey, a stock that's dropped 50-odd%. Stock, I keep calling them stocks. It's only got 9 million, which is pretty much nothing. It's very hard to find things down in this Netherlands because you market cap. Are we getting this? What? 6.9 million. Where are you? So look at this. Is this a find or what? So we have our 1 minute, and well, obviously it's trading. There's trading blocks going on here. There is some people buying and selling it. Our criterion is 45 minutes on here. 45 minutes shows that it is not being bought up yet, and its price is below these two lines, so we aren't meeting the right criteria for a buy yet, but that may change. It's certainly getting down to the bottom, which is very encouraging. Finding a stock that's just been sold off a shitload. Whoa. I'm going to stick my neck out here and say it's a buy. Just have to do some quick calc. So I've got my purchasing at the bottom of this market dip, and yeah, I just bought it. So we have a new stock here, an absolute brand new stock that's just done a shitfest in the last few hours. It has just been dumped ceremoniously 50% down a hole, and we have just bought into it, ladies and gentlemen. That is a quick decision on the moment.